So today we're going to work on the second part of 7.3. We left off on how to make the triangles. Today, you've noticed, if you notice the picture on the right, the bottom right, today we have the same figure. Notice that I have three similar right triangles, but today we're going to add in the letters and the numbers, okay? So the variables and the values. And we're going to try and solve for x, okay? So here are your 3 steps for solving these problems. Not 3 steps, 5 steps. All right? 5 steps. Step 1 is to draw how many similar right triangles do we have? 3. Okay, and that's what we just did. All the practice we did for your homework, what we started today with, is all about how to draw those right triangles. That's the first step. And it's why it's so important. If you can't get the first step right, you don't have any chance with the other ones. Okay? Step 2 is to plug in the missing side lengths. Plug in the missing side lengths. And so what you need to do that is to take your values from our picture and you're going to plug them up into the similar right triangles. All right? We'll do an example problem. I just want to go through the steps here. Step 3 is to choose the appropriate triangle pair. It will become very obvious when we do these which triangles we should pick. Remember, we have 3 triangles that we're going to get, right? We kept doing red, green, and blue. But once we get to step 3, we have to choose 2 of them. So we're going to ignore one of them. And I'll tell you how to pick that one when we move on. And then step 4 is to set up a proportion. Because the triangles are similar triangles always have proportions relating their side lengths. So you set up a proportion just like we did in chapter 6. And then step 5 is solve. Okay, so 5 steps. All right? I'm going to flip the page. If you haven't gotten them all, they're on the next page too. So here's my same triangle. Okay? My same triangle. And we're going to go through each step. So step 1 is to draw the 3 similar right triangles. So I'm going to highlight my 3 triangles. Red is the big. Green is the middle. Blue is small. Okay? I'm going to repeat those. Draw them separately here. Red, green, blue. Now we need to plug in our points. The red one's the easiest. My right angle is G for my red. The point that's furthest away is F. And my final point is E. Okay? As we move to the green one then, my right angle for my green one, remember that this right angle is doubled on the other side as well. So we know that my right angle must be at H. My other 2 letter pairs for my green one are G and F. Well, if you look back on my original red triangle, notice that F shows up in the top. That must also be the same, so we're going to take the F and plug it on in the top. That leaves G, so therefore G must go in the final spot. Okay? Any questions with the green one? Okay? The blue then, my right angle is once again at point H. If I look at the blue one, my 2 choices are G and E. Take a look at your original triangle. E shows up in the bottom right, so therefore E must show up in the bottom right. Now you might say, well, G shows up too. I agree. However, we've already taken that spot with the H, so we can't plug it in there. Okay? We've already used H and E. The last point remaining is G, so therefore I plug in a G, and we've got our similar right triangles. Okay? This was your homework. You guys are good at this, right? I hope. You guys know what to do for that.
Yeah.
Now, completing the rest of it is easier. Step 2 says plug in the missing side lengths. So we're going to go one by one, and we're going to take values from my picture and plug them into my new triangles. So what value would you like to pick first, Ariel? What value would you like to plug in first? 4. What are the letters? What side length is that for 4? GF. Where do you see GF, Ariel? FG, is that going to be the same length?
Yeah.
So we're going to plug in a 4 here. Are there any other ones?
Yeah.
Where? Yeah, the second one. Very good. Any others? That's it. Does this make sense what we're doing here?
Yeah.
So we took care of 4. Let's plug in the 3. Where do you see a 3? What's the side for 3? Julian? Bottom of the red, EG. Where else? What's that side called for the small triangle? Very good, the hypotenuse. Okay? We did the 4, the 3. Where does the 5 need to go? Is it going to go on red, green, or blue? Ernest? Red. What's that side called, Ernest? The hypotenuse, how do you know? It's the longest. It's also across from the... Where's it across from? The right angle. Very good. The last value we need to plug in is x, right? So x is HG. It shows up in the green, and it shows up in the blue. Does this make sense? Okay. At this point, we've done step 1, and we've done step 2. Step 3 is to choose the appropriate triangle pair. So what you need to look at here is what sides are given. We want to set up a proportion. We want to set up something that looks like this. Right? So we need to have matching or corresponding sides. If you look at the blue and the green, we have the bottom piece for the green, but that's missing for the blue. We have the side for the GH, for the blue, but we're missing it for the green. So those two sets are not going to work. Do you see how the sides are missing? They're incomplete. Okay? However, if you look at the green and the red, you see how my x goes with the 3, the 4 goes with the 5? And if you look at the blue and the red, we could do 3 to 5 and x to 4. So either one of those pairs will work. The pair that wouldn't work are the green and the blue. Okay? So would you guys like to choose the green and red or the blue and red? Blue and red. So blue and red. I'm going to erase this proportion of this over here. So there's blue and red. Can anybody set up my proportion for the blue and the red? Mauricio?
3 over 5.
3 over 5
And x over 4.
equals
X
x
over 4.
over 4. Very good. So we chose the side. We are set up a proportion. Just to show you, let's choose also green and red, just in case. Let's choose green and red to just show you that that one would also work. What would my proportion be for the green and the red? What would my proportion be for the green and the red? Alicia? 3 over 5 equals x over 4. Well, what do you notice? They're the same. It will be the same answer. And that's what we expect, because x can only be one value, right? So even though we did this 2 different ways, it wouldn't make sense if you got one answer, Ernest, and I got a different answer for the same problem, right? So in this case, x has to be the same, so we should expect those to be the same. So we set up our proportion. How do you solve? Cross multiply. So you got 3 over 5 equals x over 4. What do you do? Cross multiply. 12 equals 5x. What do you need to do? Divide by 5. So x equals 12 over 5 or 2.4. Either one of those is fine. Patricia?
If I do 5 over 3 equals 4 over x,
Exactly. Patricia said she did 5 over 3 equals 4 over x. That's completely fine as long as you stay consistent. So, what'd you do? So she went red to blue. So 5 over 3, 4 over x is completely fine. Are there any questions about these 5 steps? Any questions about these 5 steps? All right. I want you to start on that one on your own, please. Start on that one on your own, please. Quietly, please. Okay, sorry, please. Somebody does a real excellent job, they can do it on the board. No. Anybody think they're done or would like to do it on the board? Anyone need help? Michelle's going to get it started on the board, so if we get stuck, you can look out there.
Do you want me to label it like you do?
I want you to do exactly what I do, please. As close as you can.
Okay. Someone almost in the family. What? Give me 1 second. There you go.
Remember, Michelle, it's being recorded.
Huh?
So you know, no pressure.
I'm being recorded.
No
yeah,
pressure.
it's going to be on YouTube.
Messed up.
Magic.
Wake up.
That's smart.
It could be a fraction. Yeah, it could be a fraction.
Oh, no, I get it.
First and second try.
Marcel, are you sure you got the second triangle right?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
The blue one, JMK.
No.
Yeah.
That one is
The K is the right.
the M and K are switched. I thought I was wrong.
I'll spend
What
it.
does it mean? And you did that one, J and K.
J and K?
J and K is as well. I mean, no, I did.
JMK.
No, J and N as well.
I messed up. I just switched the letters. I messed up. I haven't erased that yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Good. They put on both sides.
What's wrong?
She put the M with the K.
So we good now, though?
Yeah.
Okay, looks good. Maria? This thing makes it.
Yeah, so what are they triangle? I can't quite see it. Triangle. It's like.
I heard it. That's
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at Marcel's work. She's finishing up for us. Her triangles look great. I really do encourage you, if you have multiple colors, please use them. Her triangles look great, and now she's trying to pick which triangle pair to choose here. Marcel, can you step aside and who can help her? What would help? Which triangle pair would be two good ones to choose? Which triangle pairs would be a good one to choose here? Mauricio?
The red and the blue one.
The red and the blue. Can you explain why?
Because like they both share the hypotenuse. They both have the value for the hypotenuse
And
the base.
so notice that they both have the hypotenuse and they both have the base. Did anybody choose anything else? Any other pairs? Why did you choose what?
I chose that. For that.
Why did you choose those two? Just because. Yes, you need to look for when you choose them where there's complete sets, right, Anthony? So when you choose your pairs, make sure that you have complete sets. So Mauricio said that there was a complete set of hypotenuses, thank you, hypotenuse, and then there was a complete set of bases, the lower sides, right? If you look at the green ones, we have the hypotenuses, hypotenuse, and the red one has the left side, okay? So can you write a proportion? So she wrote 13 over 5 equals, what'd you write? 12 over x. That looks perfect. Cross multiply.
Oh, I did.
So our final answer is x equals 60 over 13. That's absolutely correct. Now, that looks a bit odd, but don't worry about it. That's absolutely correct.
Oh.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Wait, take your book.
Brian. Yeah. All right. I would accept either.
I got two left.
Any questions about this problem before I move on? Any questions before I move on? We're going to do one more example problem and then do some practice. Anthony? You may. Yes, go ahead. Correct. Okay. We're going to skip this one. We're going to go to this one. What is the difference between this problem, if you look at this one, what's the difference between this problem and that one?
Go back to this. Yeah, this one.
They're just different shapes. The triangles are like, this is a perimeter. That's a total amount.
So I noticed two differences, not the perimeter. Marshall, what's one difference? Yeah, in this case we actually have two triangles that are identical. Right? These two triangles are the same size. Anything else you notice different between this one and this one? It's super easy.
It's the right side. Right side up.
Yeah. You guys are thinking too hard.
That one's like completely in like a right angle shape, and the other one's like.
It's a pyramid.
Alright, can I tell you?
Equilateral.
These are all good, but they're not what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. Look at this problem.
Uh-huh.
Look at my problem. What is missing?
There's not. No numbers?
Letters.
Letters.
Oh.
Letters are gone.
I thought you wanted like a math answer.
Alright. So when you guys go to watch this on YouTube, you guys can all. So notice this one has letters. This one does not. All right. I'm sorry that was so difficult. My bad. All right. Now, what we need to do, gentlemen, what we need to do here is add our own letters. Okay. Javier, Ariel, I need to see your faces. All right. We need to add our own letters. So choose your favorite four-letter word. It can't start with an F unless it's fork, okay? Does that make sense? Swag is a great word.
Wow.
I'm embarrassed now.
All right? Javier wants swag. Oh, we know. All right. So, to do this problem, we do everything exactly the same. Okay? I'm going to try and do it without highlighting it. Let's see if we can figure this one out without highlighting. Now, does this triangle that I drew look correct for my new picture?
No.
No. So let's erase this. Because these are actually isosceles, right angles. Okay? So they're going to look more like this. So there's my red one. And my green one and the blue one, in this case, are both smaller. Darren, come on. Second time. My green and my blue are both smaller, but they're both the same size. Okay? They're both the same size. Does that make sense? My two small ones inside are both the same size? Alicia? You have to wait till Anthony comes back. Now, what's my right angle for the red one? Raise your hands, please. What's my right angle for the red one, Jason? W. Very good. Now, in this case, it really doesn't matter which way we choose for my other 2 points. Nicole, what's your top point? A, and what's your other one? S. It doesn't really matter. You can switch those up. Okay. George, what's my right angle for the green triangle? So it's going to be the right angle for one of the small ones. What is it? G. G, very good. Which one are you looking at, the left or the right? The left one, so he's using green as the left. What are your other two options for those triangles? What two letters? And W. Which one matches up with the red one?
W on.
So I agree, W matches up, but that spot's already taken, right? So what other one matches up? What letter? S. And where does that need to go? The bottom or the top? I'm sorry? I disagree. So let's take a look, everybody. My red triangle. We're doing the green, right? Here's my green one right here. I have G, W, and S. W is already taken, so therefore S has to match up right here. Okay? Notice that it matches up with the red one. And then the last one has to be W on top. What is confusing here is a lot of you are trying to do this visually, I think. In this case, yes, it doesn't matter, but please do it my way because my way works all the time. Okay? Yours would work only for this case. Okay? So please just keep doing it the same way we've been doing it. Alright? The red one, or the blue one is the other side. What's my right angle, Jose? G. What are my other two letters?
W and A.
W and A. Which one needs to go where?
W goes on top.
Why?
Because you see how it is.
No, stop looking at the picture. Look at your new one. W and A. Which one matches up? W and A.
Oh, A.
A. At what location?
The top.
The top. So that's A, and this is W. Okay? I understand that it's confusing because you want to look at it visually. You just moved it down, right? That's fine. It works only for this one, though. So be careful with that, okay? Maria? For these guys? If it helps. Sorry. What's my next step? Plug in what? Numbers. The missing sides. So, what value do I want to do first? AS? So what is AS?
16.
16. Good, you have to add that. What else do you want to do? WS, I heard. Do we know what WS is? No. What other one do we want to do? SG. What's SG? Where do you see it?
Right there.
Which one? Which color?
Green.
Green. What else do you want? It goes where? Blue. And where else do you see it?
GW.
GW. What color?
Oh, green.
GW is X. Where else do you see it? Blue. X. Now hopefully this one's a lot easier. We plugged in the missing side lengths. And we need to choose the appropriate triangle. Which triangle are you going to choose here? Which two? So red and blue is what I heard. We have a 16. Does that match up with anything over here? So is red going to work? No. So red is completely worthless to us. Notice we have the sides for both of these here. So set up your proportion. What's my proportion going to be, George? Javier, face please.
8 over X equals X over 8.
Perfect. 8 over X equals X over 8. You could also flip those both. It could have been X over 8 equals 8 over X. Okay? How do we solve? Michelle? Cross multiply. Is the only new thing about this one the other new part? Brian, pay attention. Chris, what are you going to get when you cross multiply? I disagree. Notice where the lines are drawn. It does not have an 8 to an X. So what's 8 times 8? 64 equals, what is X times X? X squared. Very good. How do I get rid of the square?
8.
Square root of both sides. So therefore X equals 8. There you go. X equals 8, so we have two right isosceles triangles. Julian and then Nicole.
How you figure out how to cross multiply? Like which number?
Okay, I'll help you in a second. Nicole? You may?
I'm a
GEO?
little confused on the placement of the triangles. Cause,
The letters?
yeah.
Okay. The problem with this one is you guys are looking at the original problem. Yours would still work, but this is a special case because the side lengths are all the same. You get all the 8s. Okay? In the previous ones, what we need to look at is find the one, so you're okay with all your right angles, right? Whoops. You're okay with all the right angles?
Yeah.
Make a list of the other ones. So if we're looking at the green triangles, your other two options are S and W. Okay? Look back at your red triangle. You notice that W is down here in the corner. But we already filled that up with G, so it can't go there. Okay? Then look for S. Where does S show up? The bottom right. So therefore, we plug in S in the bottom right.
So how you get the blue one?
Whatever's type.
Excuse me?
The A for the blue one and the W.
Same way. So we did G. Your other two letters are A and W. Look at the right triangle. Well, W is in the right angle, right? But that's already taken by G. So therefore, find A on the right, on the big one. It's in the top. So therefore, A must go in the top.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And then your leftover just gets the last space.
Okay.
Okay? Ernest? Nope, not right now. Nicole's out. What I would like you to do is do a practice problem, please. If I can find my notebook. Please write down your homework. No different pictures today. Your homework is 14 to 16. Why just 20? You can try 21 if you want.
Wait, it's 14 through?
You can do 14 and 16 and try 21. Right? 14, 16, 21. Do you want to see what the problems are?
Wait, it's 14 and 16?
14 through 16. Excuse me? Let me take a look and I'll let you know.
I can do it right now. Hi, Miss Wilson.
What number was it? 23? Yes, you should do 21. So your homework is those three, 14 through 16 and 21. Okay? 14 through 16 and 21. Right? No, not the challenge. We haven't covered it enough. Right? You can try. It's going to be very difficult, though. Right? So, to recap very quickly, Javier, I need to see your face again. To recap, how many right triangles do we form inside those pictures? 3. What's your first step?
No, separate them by making my model.
Jose, please. Go ahead.
Separate them from biggest to smallest.
Separate from biggest to smallest. Step 2. What is step 2? Anthony. Plug in the... Okay, step 3. What is step 3? Ernest. Choose appropriate pairs. How do you know which ones to choose? Not necessarily biggest to smallest. How do we choose the appropriate pairs? Patricia?
Like, you see the sides and then they match up.
You find the ones that have matching sides. Those are called corresponding sides. Okay? Step 4 is what? Maria? I'm sorry, say it louder. Set up a proportion. And then step 5, solve. Okay? So your homework this weekend is 4 problems. On Monday or Friday when I see you, we're going to review very quickly and then start the next topic, okay?
Where do we go now?
Can we still meet?
We stay here and you wait for assembly. I have to leave you, but this solstice is
Can
going
we
to
still
be
meet? I thought Friday we were gonna have a weekend.
We're not having a quiz. We have to finish 7.4 first.
Can we get an accent?